What's poppin'? It's your boy Ron Artest, and you're watching Brand News.
Hello, what's good, and welcome back to another BNz Report. I'm Christopher Martin, and I'm going to bring you a brief weekend review of some of the stories from our News to Know section here at BrandNews.com. But before I go any further, I want to thank you all on behalf of Team BNz and myself for hooking us up with great leads to great stories, especially for the encouraging messages about the news and the important information we provide here at BrandNews.com. So without further ado, let's report some. Our first News to Know story comes from Afro.com. On June 2nd, we're sad to report Black Panther Party leader Geronimo Pratt dies in Africa at the age of 63. Elmer Geronimo Pratt spent 27 years in prison for a murder he did not commit. He was falsely accused and convicted of murdering Carolyn Olson, a 27-year-old school teacher. He ultimately spent 8 of his 27 jail years in solitary confinement. He was freed in 1997 when an Orange County Superior Court judge overturned his conviction. 3 years later, Pratt settled with the FBI in the city of Los Angeles for $4.5 million in a false imprisonment and civil rights lawsuit. Pratt was born in Morgan City, Louisiana. He was a Vietnam War veteran, and he was also the godfather of the late rap hip-hop artist Tupac Shakur. Our second story is from our Extra section at BrandNews.com that reports college and university news, press releases, and articles from student journalists from across the country. This extra story comes from BlackCollegeWire.com, and it says, print media is here to stay. Smartphones, compact computers, and other technological advancements have changed the way journalists cover and distribute news. However, despite the instant access and immediate satisfaction offered to consumers by the new media, some may not be ready to grasp digital media. David Shabazz is one who perhaps thinks many print newspapers are not obsolete. An assistant professor of mass communications and journalism at Kentucky State University, Shabazz said that print newspapers would not be phased out and that they simply have to coexist with digital media. I don't think that print is going extinct. Many people want to say that it's a dinosaur, but I think they forget that books were the first mass media, Shabazz said. When the newspapers came along, they didn't replace books, and when magazines came along, they didn't replace newspapers. Shabazz conducted a session on new journalism, media ethics, and the future of print publications at the 13th annual National HBCU Student News Media Conference and says that the rumor of print newspapers being phased out is simply untrue. Now it's time to move on to the special Team BNz report. They're in Atlanta, Georgia for the 2011 Holy Hip Hop Awards. Let's see if you can recognize a few of these faces.
Number one, I just say to God be all the glory. It's definitely a privilege and an honor to be recognized amongst your peers. Basically for doing what you're supposed to do, representing Jesus Christ. I accept the award humbly, and I just feel so overwhelmed. It's an awesome feeling to know that your ministry and your work is not in vain. You know what I'm saying? And we do it unto the glory of God. And I just thank God for all the people that we're able to reach. That God has given us this gift of holy hip hop and ministry, and the fact that we're studying and we're learning in our word and growing in our word, and we're having something to deposit into souls. It's a blessing, and that God would elevate you to such a position in leadership and put you in front of the people. And I try my best to make sure I respect that and hold it down the right way. It's definitely a privilege and an honor, and I'm humbled by it.
Holy Hip Hop Awards mean to me, man, something real big, because coming into Christian hip hop, I didn't know anything like this existed. So just to come around, man, and see people from all different parts of the world coming together doing the same thing, working for the body of Christ, is a great thing, and that's something that we don't see a lot. It shouldn't happen only once a year. It should be something that goes on continuously in your neighborhoods and connected through the internet and all that. But Holy Hip Hop for me is something real good, because it's an outlet. I didn't have nothing like this when I was growing up. I was in the NWA and Tupac, so it's a good chance for me to see Bushwood Bill. I grew up on this music. So
yeah, my conversion, just realizing that I'm actually responsible for the things I say. I'm actually responsible for the image I put out there that people want to emulate and be a part of. To me, it's being creative. To them, it's something that they should emulate. And when you realize you're that responsible and that their blood is on your hands according to the Bible. You know, when you're leading God's children astray, when you realize that, that's the tangible thing that made me want to change, is that Jesus said, if you lead one of my children astray, it's better you tie a millstone around your neck and jump into the sea. When I realized that's what I was doing, was leading God's children astray by projecting an image that wasn't even my life, but something that they were making their life, that's a lot to be responsible for, that people you don't even know might go to hell because of what you're saying and doing in a rap video on an album.
Give them hope, give them peace, give them love, give them discipline. That depends on who's listening. If one kid changes up the message that I bring, that could be the next Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. Tell the truth. You married and you love your wife. You got children of your own that you're trying to raise right.
When it's all said and done, to say, here's a man that was lost and now he's found. And, you know, when he had an opportunity to go out and share the gospel and spread the love of God, he went everywhere that he could and did everything that he could to reach the people that he knew is hurting and lost like he was. People that would have committed suicide like he attempted to and lost his eye and found out that only God could keep you centered and give you hope beyond having to be on drugs and anything. I want them to see that I use my life to serve people and to be a better person than to use my life and talent to harm people.
Great story, Team BNZ, and I would like to also congratulate Holy Hip Hop for their new addition to the ministry, and that's Power 105.5 The King Radio, aka WZBN 105.5 FM in Albany, Georgia. You can stream that online as well, so Google that. Our last but not least story is from usnews.com, and it's about America's most popular online teacher. Now, one would think that that teacher would be at Harvard or Howard University or some fancy prep school. In fact, he doesn't even work at a school at all. But his lessons have been viewed by more than 56 million people. Salman Khan, a former hedge fund manager, is the founder of Khan Academy, a free online learning platform with a library of more than 2,300 videos. In 2004, Khan's younger cousin in New Orleans, Nadia, was having trouble in her math class. Khan, an MIT graduate who was working in New York City, began tutoring Nadia over Yahoo Messenger. Soon, more than relatives began asking for help. So he started making YouTube videos explaining different topics, which they could view and when they had time. Eventually, other people discovered his videos and thought they were useful. Most videos are brief, anywhere from a couple of minutes to a half hour, depending on the subject. Khan deals with it all by creating a program on the computer that creates a chalkboard with him and a voiceover track. Students were telling me that they got better feedback on YouTube than in person with their teachers, he says. The topics kept growing and the feedback from the users kept growing. Well, that's it for now, and it's time for me and the team to go find some more news. Until next Sunday, continue to meet us at News to Know and our other BrandNews.com features. You can also hang out with me personally at Facebook, Twitter, and MySpace. Yes, I said MySpace. And then, as a matter of fact, the best way to get through all of those things is just go to the homepage on BrandNews.com. In the meantime, have a blessed week, and I'll see you soon. All right, y'all, next story.